welcome back. Time for more Tales from the Swamp. Today, we are going to be reading a book called Olaf and the Dragon by Adonato Leotelli. One of the more colorful legends in Nord folklore is the tale of Olaf One-Eye and Numinex. Long ago in the First Age, a fearsome dragon named Numinex ravaged the whole of Skyrim. The dreadful drake wiped out entire villages, burned cities, and killed countless Nords. It seemed that no power in Tamriel could stop the monster. This was a troubled time in Skyrim's history, for a bitter war of succession raged between the holds. The Jarls might have been able to conquer the beast, if they had worked together, but trust was in desperately short supply. A skillful warrior named Olaf came forward and promised to defeat the beast. In some accounts, he is the Jarl of Whiterun. In other versions of the legend, Olaf promises the people of Whiterun that he will capture the monster if they will name him Jarl. At any rate, Olaf ventures forth with a handful of his most trusted warriors and seeks the beast out, eventually finding Numinex in his lair atop Mount Anthor. Needless to say, it's an epic battle. First, Olaf comes at the dragon with his axe and a shield. Some variants of the legend say that Olaf and the beast battled with blade and claw for days, but were too evenly matched for either to gain an advantage. Most accounts hold that Olaf, perhaps frustrated that his weapons are completely ineffectual against the dragon, finally casts them aside. Giving voice to the rage that has been building within him, Olaf unleashes a terrible shout. Here again, the stories diverge. Many accounts hold that Olaf did not realize he possessed the power of dragon speech, while others suggested that he had long possessed this gift, but wished to test himself against the dragon in martial combat first. Virtually all variations of the legend, however, agree on what happened next. Using the awesome powers of the dragon language, Numinex and Olaf engage in an epic shouting duel atop Mount Anthor. So forceful are their words, they are said to shatter the stone and split the sky. Finally, Numinex collapses from a combination of injury and sheer exhaustion. Somehow, and this detail is conspicuously absent in virtually every account, Olaf manages to convey the dragon all the way back to the capital city of Whiterun. Isn't that right, Pastel? Yeah. Look, kitty. The people of Whiterun are suitably impressed with Olaf's hostage. They build a huge stone holding cell at the rear of the palace, which they rename Dragonsreach. This enormous... You want to go on my lap? Okay. This enormous cell serves as Numinex's prison until his death. Olaf eventually... sorry, she just climbed onto my lap. Olaf himself eventually becomes the High King of Skyrim, putting an end to the War of Succession. Presumably, his great deed made him the only leader upon whom all people could agree, and so the land once again has peace. As a visitor to Skyrim, I find this tale both fascinating and highly entertaining. It is one of the most celebrated legends of the Nords, and one can easily understand why. It's a story of surpassing heroism, in which a resourceful and worthy Nord does battle with a truly terrifying adversary, and emerges victorious by yelling him into submission. The only way in which this could have been even more of a Nordic tale would be if Olaf beat Numinex in a drinking contest. Oh my gosh, yes. That would be a very Nord thing to do. Pastel, don't headbutt my... No! Sorry, she just headbutted my microphone. It's okay, baby. We love you. She's jealous. It's fine. The legend is not without its doubters, however. The bard Svaknir, who lived during Olaf's reign, wrote and performed an alliterative verse that challenged Olaf's version of events. Enraged, the High King threw the rebellious bard in prison and destroyed all written copies of the verse. How I would love to lay hands on a copy of that verse. I admit, I am immensely curious to know what assertions Svaknir made about how Olaf really defeated Numinex. There are few ancient bard texts that provide one possible answer. These tomes suggest that Numinex was particularly foul-tempered because he was extremely old. In these accounts, the dragon spends his final years terrorizing the countryside before flying off to the top of Mount Anthor to die in peace. When Olaf finds Numinex, the dragon is too weak to defend himself. Olaf and his men capture the beast without effort, but decide to take advantage of the situation by fabricating a heroic tale. It's worth noting that all of Olaf's warriors who were said to witness the shout duel went on to become worthy leaders during Olaf's reign as High King. Whoa. That's a juicy bit of gossip right there. However, it is equally likely that Svaknir had some grudge against Olaf, and his scandalous verse was an attempt to damage the High King's reputation. Alas, we will never know. I leave you now, good reader, with this gentle reminder. A good historian must remain impartial and consider all points of view. Time has a way of distorting our record of events, so the closer you can get to the original sources, the better. Such a good story. I like it. If you go to the Bard College in Solitude, you can actually join the group. And interestingly, the first quest that they have you do is sort of like an initiation to prove that you have what it takes to join the college. They have you go to, I think it's called Dead Man's Respite, but you're going in search of Olaf's lost verse. So the bard Svaknir, you actually see him as a ghost, and he can help lead you to the verse. But once you get it back, not all of the words are readable. So you end up being able to help essentially write the ending for it. So you can sort of choose how the story goes. Yeah, that's right, Pastel. If your speech skill is high enough, you can actually pick some pretty funny options. My favorite, I think, was the suggestion that Olaf was actually Numinex in disguise, and that he would ransack the towns in dragon form. I love it so much. Your speech has to be pretty high to convince Viarmo of that, but I love it when it works out. Oh my gosh. I love this game so much. Alright. Thank you so much for another episode of Tales from the Swamp. I hope you enjoyed this story. Pastel sure did. She's getting a belly rub right now. Cute kitty. She has her foot on my arm, as if to say, don't stop, more belly rubs. Alright. From both of us, I hope you have a very comfy day.